Live via satellite from the entertainment capital of the world. It's Rockline, North America's #1 rock radio program. Rockline is brought to you by The Inside on Fox. Hi, I'm Bob Coburn, and tonight from Reno, Nevada, we welcome David Coverdale. To speak with David, call the toll-free Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in the U.S. And now, let's welcome our guest. David Coverdale and Whitesnake are about to embark on a massive summer tour. Tonight, we have some special goodies to play for you to whet your appetite for the upcoming tour as Rockline welcomes the one, the only David Coverdale. Good evening.
And good evening to you, Bob.
We've already been laughing and joking and having fun off the air, and we plan to include you tonight on the air, 1-800-344-ROCK. You're about to head out on the road with essentially the same band as the last time you went out. There's been a bass change, but other than that, it's essentially the same band, isn't it?
Yes, we have a terribly good-looking chap called Uriah Duffy has come in. And I'm getting a serious repeat on my voice. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine, and we will work on that. That is probably
sounds like
on
a
your
Queen
end in Reno.
Hang on.
Bismillah, no.
Can you do the fandango?
Is it gone out of your headphones now?
I think so, yes.
The beauty of live radio. Don't you love this?
When you said the biggest entertainment capital in the world, I thought you were talking about Reno.
About Reno? Well, that's the biggest little city in the world.
Okay, all right. Forgiven.
Close enough, but no cigar in that. Well, you have to enjoy the stability of having essentially the same band, and I was wondering if that makes the rehearsals easier for everyone.
Well, absolutely. And also, it enhances the catalog of songs that we can have at our disposal to play, which has always been a problem for me. Just to have a band that knows more than 15 tunes, So these guys are doing a great job with me, and I'm enjoying working with each and every one of them. Now, very excited with the new guy, and of course we all wish Marco Mendoza the best of success with Soul Circus.
Uriah Duffy, what a great name. I mean, first of all,
I swear to God, I had dinner with him, and I said, were your parents into Charles Dickens? And he went, no, I was named after Uriah Heep. And he said, yes, sir. I've got a brother called Yes. And I said, well, let me tell you, if you were called Black Sabbath Duffy, you'd have no chance.
And, of course, Uriah Heep is a character in David Copperfield, but apparently that escaped him somehow. Yeah,
but with an EA in the heap, I think it was.
Yeah, that's very, very funny. Speaking of 15 songs, is this forthcoming rock and roll rhythm and blues tour an evening with, or is there opening acts? How many songs will you
interestingly enough, we're hoping to have the Flying Celestial Nymphs or Jiggly Boob opening for us, so at this moment in time, there's been nobody forthcoming, so we shall see.
I'd rather have an evening with you than the Flying Celestial Nymphs, although that might be a fun night out as well.
I don't know. I'm hoping they'll join me on the bus for the odd soiree.
Get ready to dance, everybody, yeah.
Rock Commander is a celebration of rock and metal culture. Manage your own rock bands, connect with a passionate community, and experience exclusive collaborations with real bands like American Chaos and Adam and the Metal Hawks.
Now, we talked about some goodies that you sent me. Actually, I got them this morning, and they're outstanding. We'll be playing a couple of live songs from the forthcoming DVD. That got pushed back. What happened? What happened there?
Well, it's just been a comedy of errors in terms of problems. We actually recorded the concert in October last year, and there's just been this series, like a domino principle of accidents and problems, which culminated recently in the heart attack of the guy who's coordinating it. So it's put us back even further. At this moment in time, the release date, I'm assured, is 16th of August. Just in time for me to take my break after the tour.
Imagine that.
Yes, it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Now, is this gentleman okay? Is he?
Yeah, The reason I can be flippant about it, he's back on the Red Bull and the cheeseburgers.
That'll put you down right there. So you're going to issue a heart attack warning in the DVD, no doubt.
Yeah, there's going to be, because it's hopefully a dual layered scenario where you can take it from your DVD player and put it into the CD player, and But so we put on the back disclaimer saying Whitesnake will not be responsible for speeding tickets or damage to home furnishings, and now we've added cardiac arrest too.
Why not go for the trifecta, David?
Yeah, I told him he was listening to it too much.
We will play 2 of those live songs, and then there are 2 songs that we all know and love, but they're previously unreleased. Those are coming out on a gold edition CD, and we're talking about Judgment Day and Fool for Your Lovin'.
Yeah, there's actually a few more bits and pieces that the people won't have heard. I think the expression is previously unreleased. Now that I'm actually speaking with the illustrious Geffen Records, we've discovered all of these other things that have never been available before. And that's going to be on a thing called the Whitesnake Gold Series, which will be a chronological 2-disc set. And that's, at this moment in time, planned for October the 4th. Hopefully this year.
Hopefully this year, yes.
Yeah, don't listen to me. Don't want to know cardiac arrest, babe.
Now, Fool for Your Lovin', we know, but previously unreleased, this is a different recording of this, a different take?
Well, no, it's just more, much more aggressive performance of this, featuring Steve Vai as the guitarist. It's a very exciting. You know, I'm hearing these mixes and I'm going, why didn't we use them? You know, Judgment Day is very how it should be. It's very, very tough.
You've heard it. I've heard it. We should let the Rockline listeners hear it. We'll start tonight with this previously unreleased version of Fool for Your Lovin'. David Coverdale and Whitesnake on Rockline. And welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. Lines are jammed right now at 1-800-344-ROCK for a chance to speak with David Coverdale. And our first call this evening from Phoenix, Arizona. It's Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Did you guys just lose me?
Hello?
Hello,
Cindy.
David?
Yes.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Hi, fine. This is Cindy from Phoenix. I have 2 questions for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, why are you calling your show the Rhythm and Blues Show this time around? Will we be hearing a lot of blues from you?
Well, I usually try to do the blues, you know, involved in all the kind of rock stuff I do. There's always some blues performance in what I do. It was actually, the other title is Fangs for the Memories. I don't know whether you prefer that.
What's the other one, Cindy?
The other one is, will you ever be doing anything from North Winds with Whitesnake?
I don't close the door on anything anymore. The world's wide open. I've got a great band who play the music that I've done with such freshness and vitality. It's very inspiring for me. Who knows? I'll keep all the doors open, honey.
That's good to hear. Cindy, thanks for joining us tonight. We will speak with Mary, who's in Chicago and is now on Rockline. Hi, Mary.
Hi, David. Sweet Mary from Chicago.
Hi, sweetie pie. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you.
Good. I just wanted to know what the vibe was like at the Hammersmith show in 2004 for you. Were the upcoming...
It's extra... All the elements came together. I really am pleased that I left it so long to put the DVD or put an in-concert thing together. It's absolutely stellar. I'm thrilled with it. It's not something, you know, I think you guys are going to love it. And it's something I'll be very proud to show my son if he's ever turns away from Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! You know?
For those who don't know, that's where the DVD was shot.
That's in London, yeah. It's terrific. And we're putting a dual layer together so you'll be able to play the CD. You're going to hear some of the tracks tonight, so you're actually on that, son.
We'll play a track in just a few moments, as a matter of fact. Mary, thanks for being on. We'll head to Long Island. Mike, you're on Rockline with David Coverdale.
Hey, DC, Lisa and Cool Mike from the board.
Ah, good to have you.
Hi, yeah. Nice to see you. Congratulations on the new little one.
Hi, David.
Hi, sweetie pie. How are you?
How are you? Wonderful.
How's your family?
I think the whole family's on, actually.
I think so, yeah.
What's your question for David tonight,
I've noticed recently that Whitesnake's been popping up a lot in pop culture, the movie Old School, sitcoms like Still Standing and Joey. My question is, do they need your permission to do that? And have you been offered any acting gigs?
No, there's enough drama in my life without going into Hollywood. You know my feeling. Hollywood's like going into a relationship where you know the person you're with is going to be repeatedly unfaithful. So, I'd rather stay in the less shark-filled pond.
But they do need your permission to use the songs, and then of course there would be a gratuity involved, I would imagine.
There's usually a modest gratuity that helps put my son through college.
Yes, indeed, and get them off that Pokemon and all those other things there. Yeah. The 2 live songs that you sent us that we'll play tonight, actually one is 2 songs together, Burn into Stormbringer. We'll play that in a few minutes, and we're about to play Here I Go Again. Do each of them begin and end the show?
The Here I Go, Burn opens the show, and Here I Go Again closes the first part of the show. Then we come on for the encore.
Because they kind of have that vibe to them that Burn begins the show, and we'll hear that when we listen to that song. And this does sound like something toward the end. Here I Go Again, Whitesnake on Rockline.
It encapsulates 30 years of what I do.
God bless you indeed. David Coverdale, our guest tonight on Rockline, and Bob Coburn. This gentleman's name is James. He's in Joplin, Missouri. You're on the show, James.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, James.
Hi, David. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm finally honored to get to talk to you finally.
Oh, my absolute pleasure.
My question is, after this 2005 tour, are you and the band planning a new studio album soon, or?
I was just talking to Bob about that while I was playing. What I'm looking at doing now is we've been promising a double live CD for a couple of years now. All that's in the can pretty much, although I'm going to record some of the shows from this next tour. Put a double out next year and put 3 or 4 new songs on there. Because I've only got so much time that I can, contribute to stuff. No record company's really doing any significant deals at this moment in time. So, I mean, this will be more of a situation of me just adding a little bonus to a double CD, which includes 30 years of music that I've been involved with.
But you write a lot, don't you?
All the time, yeah. I play guitar every day. That's one of the first things I do.
That's good to hear. Unfortunately, the CD/record buying public has dwindled over the years, and the internet's had a huge effect too. Albums
I think so, but I think also there should be some common sense aspect. It's not easy to look at a particular reason, one reason why everything's fallen apart. Who knows? But I see the more successful DVDs become, the cheaper they are for the consumer. That doesn't seem to be the case with CDs, and I think I'm a consumer, so I notice that, and a lot of the time I'll get an album and I'll have 2 or 3 good songs and the rest are fillers, so that tends to put me off. As a consumer now, I buy predominantly from iTunes, where I know the artist gets money and I'm getting music.
Right, the artist gets the money and you get to pick and choose.
Well, that's one of the things I think is extraordinary, that the industry should look at a new way of delivering music which is economically agreeable to the consumer out there, and let's get back to some sensibility. I don't think it's particularly clever now. A couple of years ago, they replaced all of their employees, or predominantly most of them that I was familiar with, that had some kind of musical background, and replaced them with people from business schools to run it literally as a supermarket or a factory. And without those people knowing what kind of music to get, I don't think it was a good move. You've got to look at the art as the foundation of that industry.
I've always been a little suspect of people who don't listen to music in their own time. Mm-hmm. If it's forced on them in the office and that's it, I'm always a little leery. We have to take a time out. We're coming back with the Encore question. More of your calls for David, the exclusive Rockline premiere of Burn and Stormbringer Live. We got all kinds of things going on. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. That will signify that we are back. I'm Bob Coburn with David Coverdale. If you log on at rocklineradio.com, you'll see who's coming on the show. Rocklineradio.com. I'll tell you right now, we got a great lineup forthcoming. Ted Nugent next week, then Judas Priest. We also have Foreigner, Tony Iommi, and Geezer Butler together, and a whole lot more. Time now for the Rockline Encore question. It's sponsored by Radio Shack. Where do you get your specialty batteries? Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. Steph Leppard has a question. David Coverdale has an answer.
Oh, dear. Are you sure?
Hey, this is Vivian.
Hello, David.
Hi,
This is
Vivian.
Phil. Hi, Dave. Sorry, David. This is Joe. Old joke, and you know it. We're the collective 3/5 of the Def Leppards, or the Damp Leotards, as he used to like to call us. I've got a question for you, David, and I'll keep this one clean for a change. You have, in your distinguished career, had the pleasure of playing with many great guitarists, including this gentleman to my left here, Vivian.
You can't see him to your left.
No, but I know that you're to my left. I'm just wondering, in your humble opinion, who is the best guitarist that you've played with, and why?
Ooh, oh God, that's tough. Well, obviously, I'm thrilled that I had the opportunity to work with Sir Vivian of Campbell. That was a great opportunity for me. All the people I've worked with brought something to my party, The people who've been most inspirational to me is Ritchie Blackmore. That was the first one. Jimmy Page was immense. John Sykes brought an electrifying quality to my work. The guys I'm working with now inspire me every night. Doug Aldrich and Reb Beach, Adrian Vandenberg, Steve Vai, come on, look at them,
Yes.
extraordinary players. I mean, I'm delighted that I've had, it's really difficult for me to to turn around and say, this was my favorite musician.
You know, many people cite the Yardbirds, Beck, Clapton, Page.
And you should know better, Joe Elliott.
But you look at the people that have played guitar with you, and it is a stunning lineup, a dazzling array of six-string magicians who've played with you over the years. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I've actively looked for the kind of players to have that kind of foil. At the very beginning of my career, I always thought I'd be a singer-guitarist. I was a huge fan of Peter Green, the original Fleetwood Mac. Just loved the work he did, and that was very inspiring to me. And then when I was 15, I saw Hendrix at Newcastle City Hall, and I think it was December the 4th, 1967. And Hendrix came on stage looking 20 feet tall, played frighteningly incredible astral guitar, and I thought there and then, I think I'll concentrate on singing.
Set the bar a little high for everybody.
Yeah, and look for, players who can take those songs further. Because if you look about it, all the best rock bands have had the singer and the guitar. There's Townsend, Daltrey, Pagey, Plant, Jagger Richards. It's just phenomenal. So that's one of the reasons I've always actively searched out for people, and sometimes personalities clash or whatever, and I've got to have some fun in my life. I don't like too much edge,
Well, I noticed that Joe Elliott got a Dave in there and then corrected it very quickly. No doubt in deep respect for damp leotards.
Well, it was actually not the damp leotards, but I'll keep that to myself.
Okay.
But Joe will, I always call Joe Joseph when I see him. And anyway, I wish them well. I love the Leopards, and great guys, too.
Back to calls we had right now. From Toronto this time, it's John. John, you're on Rockline.
Yes. Good evening, David. Thank you for the 30-plus years of music. Wonderful music.
Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome. My question to you is, do you plan on releasing a video catalog of all your Whitesnake videos, like from the 80s to present, at any time?
We're looking now at, we're talking with Geffen about something for next year, and what we're looking at is, I think, 11 videos. An acoustic thing I did with Adrian Vandenberg called Starkers in Tokyo. Starkers, for a few Americans, means like naked, although we weren't buck naked. It was just undressed, unplugged, unzipped. And a 1990 concert of Whitesnake at the Monsters of Rock. We're trying to put all that together in a nice, handsome little package for next year.
So you have all that. That's actually pre-Geffen, but they would be releasing it for you, right?
By the look of it, yeah. I mean, some of them will require licensing or whatever, but, where there's a will, there's a way.
John, thanks for being on tonight. Good question. We'll talk to Elizabeth. She's in Muscatine, Iowa. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi there. Hello there, Mr. Handsome.
Hello there, good looking.
My question for you is in regards to some cover art. I'm a pinup artist. In other words, I paint partially clad ladies. And I would
partially clad ladies.
And sometimes
that's actually another one of the opening acts we've got. I think.
Yeah, well, and actually, what are they? Starkers ladies. I'd like to know about the 1979 cover art for Love Hunter.
Yeah.
The artwork looks very much like Vallejo, but I can't identify.
Oh, somebody I was married to one time?
Pardon me?
Oh, I thought you meant the girl riding the snake. No, it was quite... okay, forgive me. The artist was a guy called Chris Achilles. He painted for a men's magazine in the United Kingdom many years ago called Men Only. I'll leave the rest to your imagination. When Whitesnake started, for some reason, I would stir up militant female liberation, whatever, people. I was accused of being sexist or whatever, which certainly didn't occur to me. Of course, I've always had the greatest respect for the majority of women I've known. The cover of Love Hunter was specifically to stick it up their collective derriere. And we're actually just going to be putting that out on a new T-shirt because that's probably been one of the most requested images to present out there. But that's the story behind that. Oh, and it worked, by the way. It did stir them up.
I didn't want to laugh while you were speaking. It's just such a great clip. I just wanted to let it go. Elizabeth, feel free to send some samples to Rockline, by the way. We're happy to pass the address on to you.
Stop it, Bob.
Oh, please. Please. It's among friends. We have Mike in Plymouth, Wisconsin now. Hi, Mike.
Hi, David.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good. What memories do you have from the 1973 to 1975 Deep Purple era? And what was it like working with those musicians, including the late Tommy Bolin?
Yeah. Well, that was one of the grandest adventures you could imagine. I came from working in a local band to playing with one of the biggest bands on the planet at that time. In fact, in 74, 75, we were the biggest selling act in the world. And unfortunately, I lost my Billboard award way back. Working with Ritchie Blackmore was phenomenal. I still utilize a lot of the lessons that I learned from Ritchie. He was a phenomenal musician and a great teacher. I was very much his disciple of the initial period. Tommy Bolin was adorable. It just broke my heart to see that he would compromise his health and his well-being by overindulging in some of the more peripheral aspects of the industry at that time. As anybody who reads my website or knows interviews with me, I hold Deep Purple in the highest esteem for the incredible, courageous decision they made to take a chance on such an unknown musician as myself, and set me on a remarkable journey, which continues today.
I thought you and Glenn Hughes both added a lot to the band at that point.
Well, it was totally brave. We brought in a different element. Glenn brought in a soul element. I brought in the blues element, manifesting in songs like Mistreated. And it maybe went a little too far to the left as it progressed, and which alienated Ritchie, of course, or whatever. But things happen for a reason. And I had fun. I stand by the work. And they've just recently reissued a remastered copy of Burn, which was nice to hear.
And we're going to play that song right now that David was kind enough to send to us. It's segue time. Did you say Burn? I believe you did. Oh, yeah. That is just outstanding. Burn and Stormbringer, David Coverdale and Whitesnake for you. If you want to see one of the shows on tour, whitesnake.com. Whitesnake.com will give you full information. That is just excellent. Great job on that, sonically and performance-wise. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bay Minette, Alabama is checking in. It's Melissa. Melissa, you're on Rockline.
Hey, David.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hey, my question is this. What to you distinguishes solo music or albums from the band or music of Whitesnake?
Good question.
Oh, well, something that Bob and I were talking about a while back here. My last solo album was called Into the Light. One of the things that made it different, if you listen to the songs and imagine those tougher guitars or whatever, from Whitesnake, it's probably a Whitesnake album. But I was really trying to sing as opposed to wail. Instead of being the Prince of Wales, I wanted to, try singing and be deferential to my maturity. But now I actually regret that I didn't make the keys a little bit higher for me to wail more. That's basically the only difference, hon.
Now, Prince of Wales makes me segue to Queen Elizabeth. What are you doing with the Queen? Tell us about that.
I haven't had anything to do with it, I promise.
That's not what I hear.
I was a young schoolboy, I tell you. I was innocent. I had no idea. And it was just Buckhouse. That's what can I tell you. No, I was just invited to the Queen's birthday party. I'm going, why? I don't know whether she's a fan of Whitesnake. Go figure. I don't know. But I'd rather play Poughkeepsie
than hang with the Queen. Okay.
Oh, my God, yes.
We have the Bronx checking in right now. It's Scott. Scott, you're on the show. Here's David for you.
Wow, that's great. I just want to know if you could tell us a little something about the biggest rock show in history, the 1974 California Jam.
Ah, yeah. Well, actually, I did a bigger one in Rio in '84. That was like 400 and something thousand. I think the Cal Jam was 300,000.
Closer to 400.
Was it?
Oh, closer to 4. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Very quick story. We'd agreed contractually to appear to be the first band to appear with lights after a whole day's music. And contractually, every act had to stay at the Holiday Inn, Ontario. So we were all there. And Ritchie Blackmore and I were standing outside watching this unbelievable parade of cars going towards the festival site the night before, watching for what time we'd be on the next night. You know, the sun was going down, etc. So we thought, okay, that's what time we'll be on tomorrow, and went our merry way to the bar. And then flew in by helicopter the next day, because obviously it was impossible to get there. All of this thing was going on, and we were told that there was somebody called Linda Lovelace wanted to introduce herself to us. And nobody at that time had heard of the infamous... But it's interesting because there's several deep throats now, isn't there, with the current press? But the other deep throat... And we didn't know about it until we took off, and somebody told us who she was, and we were bitterly disappointed we didn't give her an autograph.
Dot the I, so to speak.
But other than that, it's a great memory for me. It was a great, and I understand somebody said on my website recently that they'd heard you can get a DVD of that, which I've yet to be able to find, but I'd like to have that as a memento for myself. It was the first gigantic show that I'd ever played. And actually, I think at that time it was probably the biggest show Purple had played.
Well, that's a huge show. I was at that show. I was in a helicopter doing traffic reports on the old KMET here in Southern California, as a matter of fact. And
you told me you were 11 years old when I did the California Jam.
Well, I was 11 years old, but I can still go in a helicopter and do traffic reports.
Okay, for high school.
The nose is growing, yeah. The Deep Throat who came out yesterday, it did take his name from the Linda Lovelace movie. That is where that came from. So there is a connection there. All right, Scott.
But he didn't look as cute.
Is Scott still there? Scott, I'm just curious why you asked that. Did you have a taped copy of it or anything?
Yeah, apparently I'm the only one who taped the show properly in stereo. It's the biggest musical in the world.
Once again, feel free to send samples.
Scott, do you know when Ritchie smashes the camera?
I have that, yeah.
Yeah, that cost us $75,000.
I know.
In '74, that's a lot of money.
That was big bucks, baby.
That's a lot of money now. We have to take a time out. We'll let you speak with David Coverdale more in just a moment at 1-800-344-ROCK. One line open right now. Give it a shot, and good luck to you. Taking it down slow and easy. David Coverdale, our guest tonight on Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn, and coming soon on the show next week, it's Ted Nugent, followed by Judas Priest, Foreigner, Tony Iommi, and Geezer Butler together, and a whole lot more. RocklineRadio.com will give you more information. Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's Michael. You're on Rockline.
Good evening, David.
And a good morning, Michael. How you doing?
I'm fine. Hey, I think you're one of the best ever.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I think you're one of the best, too, Michael.
Thank you. My question for you was, 2 years ago you did a show in Milwaukee, and about halfway through the show, the local festival next door decided to shoot off some fireworks. Do you remember that show?
No, there's always fireworks in my shows, Michael. You should know that yourself.
I was just kind of curious if you had ever experienced anything as strange as that.
No, I'll tell you what it was. If you remember, everyone was paranoid at that time for anything that sounded explosive, and to hear that kind of stuff echoing around that ballpark or wherever we were in was a bit chilling initially, if you remember.
That's probably what it was. Michael, glad you enjoyed the show, and nice comments for David there. We have John, who would like to speak to David in Georgetown, Massachusetts. Good evening.
Hi, David. This is Shaker from Boston.
Hi,
a quick question for you. How did you get involved?
He's an answer for you, Shaker.
Last Note of Freedom.
Oh, there's going to be a new version of that coming out on this Gold series. That from the what's its name? What was that? Days of Thunder. Was it Days of Thunder? The movie?
Yeah, is that the Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah, where I met Nicole.
Yes,
yeah, it's a new mix of that, which is one of the reasons, as you know, Shaker, from looking at the website when I've answered questions about this particular song before, is that it was a personal request, the reason I did that. And the other reason, of course, I adore Trevor Horn's work, the producer. And so it was on the Slip of the Tongue tour. I took a private plane down to L.A. to do the track with him, but he was so fried by that I was never really happy with the mix that resulted on the actual soundtrack. So I had a friend of mine called Chris Lord Algie do an alternate mix, which was excellent and actually didn't see the light of day. So that's going to be on this Gold Series thing that Geffen are putting out soon.
You've got lots of goodies coming out, it sounds like. All kinds of goodies forthcoming. Good stuff. John, thanks for being on.
About time, too.
It certainly is. Boy, you've got a catalog to mine. There's no doubt about that. And a good mine is a terrible thing to waste. We have Martin on the line right now. He's in Montreal. I knew I'd get it out there. Hi, Martin.
Hi, how are you?
Is that Martin with two N's?
That's Martin with two N's on the board, of course, yes.
Nice to speak to you, Martin. How are you?
It is an honor for me to speak to you.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
My question would be, how do you get emotionally prepared for a live show or an intimate show like you did the Starkers album? How do you get into the songs to be able to perform like you do?
I get zoned. I go into the zone before a show. There's nothing. I don't meet with anybody. You know, if my wife's on the road with me, she's allowed there. The two girls I work with, the wardrobe girl, my assistant, and Christy, they're the only ones around me. And I just get into the vibe of what I'm going to do. It's I meditate and stuff now, so all of that helps me immensely, indescribably. And, and just get myself vibe for the show.
So you block everything out except being in a room with women.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a good man, David. It's the Still of the Night, Whitesnake on Rockline. Still of the Night, Whitesnake. David Coverdale, our guest tonight on Rockline, and Bob Coburn from Eaton, Ohio. We welcome Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, what's up, David? Bob?
Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Having fun.
Hey, I'm fine. Just got off work.
Good.
Getting ready to do chores, feed the horses.
Well, whatever you like to call it, darling.
Well, and that's why you're from Eaton, I guess. Okay.
Yes, I am. Eaton, Ohio.
What do you have for Mr. Coverdale?
Well, I'd like to say that I seen him out at Buckeye Lake. Lovely experience with Motley Crue. That was the only time I got to see your president. Lovely. My question for you, David, is what was your greatest learning experience working with Jimmy Page?
Oh, God. You know what? The fascinating thing was that I learned much more than I thought I did when I was working with him. That was the biggest eye-opener for me was afterwards, because the guy's an alchemist. He can make a silk purse out of a pig's ear. That was probably the most, and of course, affecting what is now a lifelong friendship. But that's the most enduring thing for me. I learned how the architect in him would structure guitar tracks, and it was a fascinating learning experience, which I didn't feel I'd learned as much until later on, and then the light went on. I went, oh my God, and that helped me change my approach to recording.
And still, you managed to get your name first.
Alphabetical, doll. Biff.
Dave.
I think Biff is a cool name.
I think Dave is a cool name for you.
Man, I just have images of you waxing your surfboard between waves.
So I should explain a little running joke that David and I have with each other. Here.
That was the sake, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was. Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Let's talk to Aaron in Gorefield, New Jersey. Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
There's an Irish name for you. Hi, Aaron.
Well, thank you very much. Very Celtic. What I wanted to ask you is, has any of the books that you read inspired your performances?
Oh, inspired my performances? No, but they've inspired my lyrics.
Anything in particular stand out?
Well, no. I think you absorb everything you hear, see, touch, read. All of those things are absorbed, put into the blender, and hopefully something unique comes out. But I'd like to think I've learned pretty much from everything I've been involved in.
Thank you, Aaron, for joining us tonight. We played Still of the Night a moment ago, and I want to ask you this question. For years, I have heard that you did that in one vocal take. And
two.
It was second take, really?
It was, well, I don't know. A lot of the things you do in the studio, what I do when I'm doing vocals, I'll sing the song maybe 4, 5, 6 times, and then I'll bugger off and let my engineer bounce them, what he thinks is a good take. I'm way too critical. So I get out of there. He puts what we call a pass together, And then I go down and go, oh, well, yeah, that's okay, fine, next. So, and I never know where it comes from. However, with Still of the Night, it was the first song that I sang 6 months after having sinus surgery. And I'd been told that there's a 50-50 chance I would never be able to sing in that style again, if indeed be able to project my voice. And in the studio, I was very, very nervous, and a great guy, great producer called Keith Olsen, I said, I'll just have a run through, warm up, I won't record it. And of course, he did record it, and I sang the song twice, and that was it. So
that's remarkable. Still of the Night is his signature song. We have forthcoming Judgment Day, a previously unreleased version of that. More calls for you with David Coverdale, 1-800-344-ROCK. Studio version of Here I Go Again. We heard the live version earlier in the show tonight. That DVD is out September 16th, I believe you said, David.
Yes.
September 16th.
So, no, September 20th.
September 20th.
Package, I think.
Okay.
This is, yeah. We've got this special package. Nice package.
Yeah.
It's called a 3-pack, Whitesnake Chronicles, and that's got the 3 albums in. Hopefully it'll be a special accommodating price, too. That's September the 20th. October the 4th is that Gold series, 2-disc set, like the chronological Whitesnake stuff with unreleased music on, and actually an interesting song that some of my boys have been redecorating for me. So that's definitely an unreleased song featuring some of the current members of Whitesnake. And the DVD will be August the 16th.
August the 16th. Okay. Get the record straight on all this. It's a shame you have nothing going on whatsoever. We have Tracy on the line from Hollywood, Florida. Tracy, here's David Coverdale for you.
Yes, hello, David. How are you?
Oh, wow. I don't know why, but Tracy, I imagined a lighter voice.
So did I.
Yes, I appreciate that. I've heard that my whole life.
How are you doing, Tracy?
I'm doing fine, sir.
My name's Marion.
No big deal. Hey, I'm just curious. With the Mark III members of Deep Purple now running around all over the place, I was just wondering if you've ever thought about
escaped? Are you telling me they've escaped?
No, well, they're just, they're most of them are no longer in Deep Purple. You got Ritchie Blackmore, John Lord, Glenn Hughes. They're no longer in the Perps, and now you're out there also. There's 4 of the 5 available to do something. I was wondering if you guys would ever want to collaborate and do something again sometime.
Ooh, you never know. I bumped into John Lord a couple of years ago, Tracy, and because there was all of this fuss went around the internet saying that John Lord's dream was to have all former members and current members of Deep Purple come together for one night. And I thought, terribly ambitious. I would do it if it was for charity and only if Ritchie Blackmore was involved. Ritchie Blackmore and John Lord are, they are the essence of what Deep Purple is. So it's unusual. It's strange for me to see that they're no longer involved,
I think John is more than willing. Good luck with Ritchie, though, from what I understand. And I don't mean that as a knock. I'm just stating a fact.
Hey, baby, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I'm very happy. As you know, I have quite the full agenda. Thank you.
Tracy, thanks for being on with us tonight. We'll talk to
Paula.
Yes, indeed. Paula is in China, Maine. Hi, Paula.
Hi, how are you?
Doing very
Hello,
well.
Paula.
Hi, I just wondering what your favorite live song is to play. Well, song to play live is.
Excuse me?
What's your favorite song to play live?
Oh, a bunch of them, actually. I have different favorites. To see the response we get on Here I Go Again is extraordinary wherever we play it in the world. Still of the Night's huge. We're very blessed with a very appreciative audience who seems to enjoy pretty much whatever we play. And that's not only my musicians that I work with, Red Beach, Doug Aldridge, Tommy Aldridge, Timothy Drury, and now, of course, the new guy I'm very excited to work with. But they're constantly inspiring me to go for notes that only dogs can hear.
Let's play one of those previously unreleased songs that we've been touting all night long. This is Judgment Day on Rockline. Judgment Day sounds good, and that's you had that for a while, but chose not to release it.
Well, no, I just wasn't really speaking to Geffen. In fact, I met all these new and fine people at Geffen a couple of months ago when I was mixing the DVD. Mm-hmm. I went down to their new offices in Santa Monica and introduced myself to them and then to me, and we got on very, very well. And over a fine lunch, we discussed the ideas of what we should do with Whitesnake stuff now that I'm back to work. But quite honestly, there was no reason for me to talk to anybody there for so many years. I was quite comfortable in my semi-retirement.
Well, we're glad you're not semi-retired any longer.
Yeah, and these are good people now. I'm working with a guy there called Mike Ragonia who, knows what he's doing, which is always a treat. Most record companies now look at artists as irritants. It's like role reversal.
Yeah, funny how things change.
Man. Yeah.
One day
what are you interested for? You only created it.
One day you're the candy. The next day you're the rapper. Funny how it turns around. Shannon would love to speak with you. He is in Knoxville, Tennessee. Hi, Shannon.
Hey, David. I was wondering if you could tell me what you thought of the hard rock scene today, and please be candid.
Oh, no, I think it's very encouraging that there's an audience for... The only people I know is my friends, like Priest are going out there. There's a Motley Crue doing great. These are all mates of mine. And I'm going out, of course. I'm delighted that we're all having a bit of fun out there. And I think it's a great time for some positive, uplifting music. We're in two wars now. The economy's... imbalanced or whatever. It's time for some people to have a good time and have some fun back into shows, and that's one of the things we're going to be doing, spreading some fun and joy and light and some good positive energy, God willing.
And there are some great young bands out there now, and we've seen the tide turn in the past couple of years with our Monday night guests on Rockline. And
I really like the Vines a lot, and I like Von Bondi's. Those are two bands I really enjoy listening to.
I'll recommend Seether. Karma and Defect by Seether, a band based in South Africa. Just outstanding stuff. We have to take time out.
South African band?
Two of the gentlemen are from South Africa. They now live in Southern California, and they're just excellent. That's a great new CD.
What on earth is Dave Matthews starting?
It's contagious. We're back with David Coverdale in just a minute on Rockline. Fool for Your Lovin'. We heard the new version of that, or the previously unreleased version, at the beginning of the show, so we thought we'd play the original studio version for you at the conclusion of the program tonight. I want to thank everyone for listening, for calling to our affiliate stations, everyone at Rock 104.5 and Reno, Nevada, for helping us out with the broadcast tonight, especially Jave Patterson, Chad Owens, and Max Volume, to Renee Pfeffer from On Tour PR, Rick Kenny from Sanctuary Artist Management, and to our esteemed guest, David Coverdale, this evening. Good luck with the tour, and dates are being added at whitesnake.com as we speak, I understand.
As we speak. It's the tour that never ends, dear boy.
Yes, indeed. Good luck with it, and thanks for being on. It's always fun when you're on, David. I've enjoyed this immensely.
Absolutely mutual. My love to you and your gang.
Thanks to DC, I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you. Rockline has been brought to you by The Inside on Fox. The awesome sound of Rockline was made possible in part by Sennheiser mics. Sennheiser, microphones, headphones, wireless products. Sennheiser, the sound that moves the world. Rockline is mixed by Jimmy Rash. Thanks to Felicia Bihar, Kareem Akle, and Sean LaDouceur for their invaluable contributions. Rockline is produced by Bob Coburn and Lori Nikoloff. On-site producer and technical direction by Greg Jernigan. Executive producer Bob Coburn.